Welcome to you, our viewer, to Rays of Hope Masikhanye, a lifestyle talk show hosted by the Seventh-day Adventist Church that seeks to empower individuals, families, and communities to lead lives that make this world a better place, thereby shedding your light in your little corner. My name is Sivu Kotela, and I'm your host. Now we are concluding a series that we've been having on God and the marketplace. And today we are looking into the marketplace beyond profit, how to measure real business success. And once again, I am joined for this segment by our resident pastor for this segment, Pastor Amyas Mvunelo, all the way from Johannesburg. Pastor Mvunelo, welcome to our show. How are you?
I'm good. It's always a pleasure to join your show.
Thank you so much for joining us once again and availing yourself. Beyond profit. Is there really anything beyond profit for business? Isn't business there to just make profit? And that is how it should measure its success? Or is there another way? There should be another way of measuring success for business?
Right at the beginning in our discussion, we mentioned that the purpose of business is to create mutually beneficial solutions and results. If business is simply about profit, then it becomes crude and meaningless to our lives, and probably would not buy into what they are trying to sell us if it is that. If you look around, I've looked around, I've traveled the world, I have seen solutions that were provided by people. The very fact that we have media is a solution to our need to communicate with each other. So there are several solutions that people provide. You stand outside, you are seeing solutions. People have come up with solutions to our problems. The cars we drive are a solution to our problem. Whether Tesla is making the latest model or Mercedes-Benz, it's a solution to our problem. This is what entrepreneurship has done. This is the kind of contribution that entrepreneurship has done. Imagine if it was all Christian entrepreneurship. It was all driven by Christians to find solutions. The kind of impact we would have. We tend to respect the billionaires list that we get from time to time because they've found solutions to our problems. So one of the things that entrepreneurship does is to solve our problems. If we are not prepared as believers to step out and look for solutions for the people that need them, then somebody else is going to. And you can imagine the kind of impact that the world will admire them for. I think, as Jesus Christ had said, we were not supposed to hide the light. We were supposed to shine these rays of hope we are trying to shine now. We were supposed to be solution providers. In fact, a better one is we're supposed to be solutionists. That's all we're supposed to be. Solvers of problems.
Solutionists.
Solutionists. The problems that the world is facing, even now we've got to wake up. The pandemic has created crisis after another. We've got to think as solutionists. What can we do to solve the problems that exist in the world? What can we do to enhance our world? What can we do to create health care plans to make sure that we are able to survive the pandemic? What can we do to create some of the solutions? I mean, Christianity was leading for a long while in solving the world's problems. Universities, by the way, were created by Christians. They were not created by people. These are people who looked at Scripture and realized they've got to be the salt of the earth. They've got to be the light of the world. And so we've got to continuously think on that. I think we have laid our harps by the rivers of Babylon right now. We have not been the thinkers. If we are going to be influential as believers, if we're going to be influential, we've got to think solutions. So entrepreneurship is beyond that. For me, there are 4 P's that I usually take people through map. I call it map, mission and purpose.
Sure.
What is it you are trying to do? What is it? So you've got to be clear on one thing. First, your passion.
Passion.
What is your interest? What drives you? What keeps you awake at night? If you are looking for a particular problem, if you are looking at this problem, I may be looking at the same problem, but you do not see any way clear. Your passion will take you through that. It will take you, it will keep you at this. It will keep you driving this. So other people look at the same thing. They look at the same wall and they say, that's it. But if you have passion, you are able to say, beyond this world, what are we going to do? What are we going to do if you are driven by that? Secondly, people. If you don't have interest and love for people, you are not going to be moved by their issues. You are not going to be moved by their needs. You are not going to be moved by their concerns. You are just going to shut your world, shut yourself into your own world and not look outside. But if you have passion, if you have love for people, you are going to say, what is it that I can do to make these people comfortable? Jesus stands up on the mountain and is moved by passion and he speaks to them because he's moved. So we've got to be those kind of influencers. We've got to be those kind of influential people. Look at what is happening. What is it that you can do to uplift human beings? You've got to identify by that second P, your customer.
Sure.
Who is it that you are going to serve? Who is it you are going to focus on? Who is it that you are going to provide a solution for? If you don't, then somebody else will provide that solution and will have the kind of impact that you do not necessarily have. And then the third thing.
Before you go there, I love that. And let's just recap, especially for our viewers that are watching us, but also for myself as well. So the first one is passion.
Passion.
The second one is people.
Yeah.
Okay. And I love the emphasis, on the people. The African Proverbs talks about if you want to go fast, go alone. Yeah. But if you want to go far, go with the people. Yes. Go together with the people. Yes. And I love your emphasis on how whatever you do should not be inspired by what you get, by what you give to the people.
To the people.
And of course we're going to go back and speak again on those 4 issues. But you were going to go to the third one.
Yeah, the third one is performance. It's important that we do our best.
Okay.
We do
performance.
Excellence. We must have results. Don't just wake up, work. There must be results.
Sure.
We tend to be busy and we think because we're busy we're doing well. But as again Solomon says, whatever you find with your hand, do it to your best. Do it with all your might. Let this thing shine through whatever project you undertake, whatever business you undertake. Let it shine through so that the world admires this. Don't just do a car like everybody else if you are going to do a car. When you do your fat cakes, if you want to do your fat cakes, your scones, your whatever, do it in a distinctly excellent way.
Sure.
Do it to the best of your ability so that it shines forth and people can look at it and say, wow.
I love that.
And they will love your God and say, wow.
I love that.
This God who makes people to do things. That's what they admired Jesus for. They admired him because they began to say, wow. They praised God for what he was doing. Excellence is a Christian absolute. We cannot make it an alternative. Whatever you do, whatever profession you are in, whatever business you are in, let's do our best.
I love that.
If we do, we will then impact the world.
Excellence.
Performance. The last one.
Yeah. Before the last one, I need to comment on that one. I think it's Martin Luther King Jr. Who says, because I think this is very important what you are saying, if it falls your lot to be a street sweeper, sweep those streets like Raphael carved marble, like Beethoven composed music. Basically, sweep those streets so that even those that are watching, they say, Here was the greatest street sweeper, yes.
Yeah.
But thank you so much.
Yeah, we always say that if you make your team, make it the best.
Sure.
If you make whatever you make it the best. Performance. We've got to perform.
Strive for excellence.
Strive for excellence. We cannot be mediocre. We cannot be tails.
Sure.
We've got to be leaders.
Sure. The fourth one, Pastor Amyas.
And the
I'm
fourth
interested
and
in
last
that
one.
as well.
You would be interested in it. I want to give you a double portion of it there.
Okay.
It's important that you posterity, and I say use posterity, posterity, but also profit in that one. The last, so let's talk about posterity. You must leave a legacy. We are all the better in the world because there are universities that were introduced by Christians. We are all the better because there are hospitals that were introduced by people. We are all the better because we now have Microsoft, Apple, we've got everything. Steve Jobs is no longer there, but leave a legacy.
Sure.
Begin with the end in mind, your favorite writer is, he would say, Stephen Covey. So begin with the end in mind. What kind of contribution and legacy do I want to leave behind? Not just for my children, not just for others, but for every human being. You may start small, as Jesus started with his disciples. But make sure that whatever you start grows after you, grows beyond you. It continues afterwards. Because forever after, we will talk about Nelson Mandela. Forever after, we'll talk about Steve Jobs. Forever after, we'll talk about different people who have impacted our lives, who have left a mark, a legacy that we will admire forever. The profit is important.
Sure.
Passion is important. People, important. Performance is important. But in order to be sustainable, if your mission project has got to be sustainable, it's got to give you good profit because that's how you fuel it.
Sure.
That's how you sustain it.
Sure.
If we create projects that are not profitable as Christians, our contribution is going to be limited.
Sure.
But if we create, as disciples of Jesus, projects that are profitable, they're going to last for a long time, they're going to be sustainable, they're going to be... So it's not just about getting the profits and finishing them, but it's about making sure you have a sustainable project.
Sustainable. I love that you are ending with posterity, sustainability, and of course last week you did a good job in because it's always a concern with our understanding of the end times, eschatology, and that the world is coming to an end now. But then you come and talk about long-term posterity. But last week you did a good job in saying that we are living in the end times should not be a threat to us planning for long term. Actually, it should fuel that. Yeah. It should fuel that because with the end time coming very soon, one of the responsibilities that we have as Christians, and this is what you made last week, is that we have to make this world resemble as close as possible the heaven we are going to, such that even if the heaven were to come tomorrow, we don't see that as a threat to what we are building, but we see it as having happened faster. Yeah. And otherwise, we are busy now trying to create heaven. Now, I love the 4 P's. I really love the 4 P's. Passion, people, and performance, and posterity. And of course, I mean, you touched on the last week. You even I'm trying to, because we are wrapping up this month now of God and the marketplace, and because somebody that has just watched only today's segment, only today's program, might miss the fact that even though we pursue excellence and performance, but even last week you said that we need to rest. We don't just perform without resting. Yeah. Part of performing is resting, and so it's for me. You've actually made it to come together so well. Do you have any other comments that you want to add on those 4 P's? as we are wrapping up?
I think it's important that we realize this then tells you your map.
Sure.
This becomes your map. So if you have determined your passion, you are not going to drive to Joburg when you want to end up in Cape Town. You're going to drive according to this. Your posterity, what is it you want to leave, becomes important in creating this. So people often ask, how do I know that, how do I determine my entrepreneurial journey? How do I determine God's will for my life? How do I determine? So with those P's, you are able to determine some of the things. And although they are driven from you, but you're looking at it from that point and you're saying, okay, what is it that God has already placed in my heart in terms of my passion?
Sure.
He is not going to create something new. See, one of the things with Christianity sometimes is we want to, we understand God gives us the freedom of choice, but sometimes we struggle with understanding the autonomy He has given us. We want God to tell us everything we must do. If it's not whispered to you, God's will must be such that you've got. So we've got to be able to say, but God has already given me some passion, some interest.
Sure.
And that is a starting point for you to realize, what is it that you can do? What is it that annoys me in this world? What is it that makes me uncomfortable that I want to solve?
Sure.
And so you begin from there. If it annoys you, it means it's for you.
I love that.
Not for me.
I love that.
Not for the next
That's your
person.
each.
But it's for you. And so you work with that. So those are the things that we can do to
Pastor
make sure.
Amyas.
But it's beyond profit, as you said.
Yeah.
It's just beyond profit. It's important that we understand what we are here for.
Thank you
we'll
so
impact the world that way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Amyas. There's nothing wrong with profit, you are saying, but the real purpose of business should go beyond profit. Thank you so much for those remarks, and thank you for joining us today and for having been with us in the last 4 segments of this show. Viewers at home, thank you for joining us. We are going to take a short break, and we'll be back with the next guest on the same topic. We'll see you soon.
Every community has its ups and downs, its joys and its sorrows, from informal traders, children to pensioners. Everyone sometimes needs an ear to hear. Do you need prayer? Chat with the Cape Conference virtual pastor.
We are back. Welcome back to Rays of Hope, Masikhanye. I am Sivu Kotela, your host. I am so excited to be joined by Professor Eltie Links on this discussion on beyond profit again, how business can be used as an agent to change society. Prof Links, welcome to Rays of Hope.
It's always my pleasure when you're on the other side. I know we're going to have a very interesting time, but hopefully also a profitable time.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Prof Links. What are initial thoughts on the topic? And I mean, there are those that say, hey, should we even be having this? The purpose of business is just to make money. And then what the business owner does with the money is their business. And they may choose to change society, but that is something that is an individual's responsibility, not the actual business's responsibility. What are your actual thoughts, initial thoughts on that?
Well, I think if you look at a business, it is posited within a society. It lives on the society. And because it lives within the society, it forms part of that, and its whole oxygen, so to speak, its breath comes from society. And for that reason, it would be short-sighted for any businessman to think that he is there solitarily for his own benefit. And that's why, while back, it's 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years, the whole concept of a triple bottom line was implemented.
Sure.
What does that mean? It means that other than concentrating on what profit I can make for my business and for myself, I have to look at a second and a third bottom line. And that second one would be not profit, but planet. Planet being the environment. So what does the businessman do? And you go to the Bible and it says, take care of the environment. We have so many references to admonishing us to take care of those around us, both in terms of the environment, but then thirdly, the people. And the people has got many connotations in business. It's not only the people outside, but it is the people right inside, the employees that you have to look after. So I think the triple bottom line, these days, it has been recasted in terms of what we in South Africa refer to as the King 4 admonition, the King 4 principles that we have to abide by, which gives great emphasis to what do we do for society. But I can expound on that a little bit.
Definitely, and you will. Definitely you will. Because it's quite interesting, there has been a shift recently over the years. Because in the past, I mean, you would know this. So you would have somebody that spends the rest of their life making money, accumulating wealth. And then later on, others would then use that money to give to philanthropy and try to impact and make change in the world. But of course now, the new generation has brought, why do you have to wait later to make an impact? Why don't you do these simultaneously?
Absolutely.
And how do you incorporate, where do you start? Do you start at the strategy level or even in your planning level? How do you incorporate that consciousness of, as you've said, the triple P's?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a philosophy. It's a way you see things and the way you would want to live your life, and your whole philosophy of sharing, of making a difference, doesn't only pertain to money, material. We are stewards, first of all, to look after that which is entrusted to us, and the Bible is very strong on that, but it is not only the money, it's also the time. And many a time we don't have money to give, but the businessman who has money also gives his time. And in business, we these days refer to social investment, corporate social investment, CSI is a common term. What does the corporate, the business do in terms of investing in society? And that has become a very important criteria to mark you up as a business. And people these days refer to those scores that you get in terms of whether you're a societal transformational power. Do you transform within society that which you found in terms of poverty, upliftment? Is there a way that you uplift society in educational grants or bursaries or whatever? What is your role in society? And that CSI is not only for the corporate.
Sure.
Once you leave the corporate, you must ask yourself also, what is Eltie Links's social investment? How do I invest in my society? Do I do it only through financial means? And many times, as tithe-paying Christians, we say, that's about it. But there's more to that. What is your time? Sometimes in churches, I know in my church, it is sometimes, and I hope it doesn't happen in other churches, but the congregation finds it difficult to find people to fill positions within the church, because there's no remuneration for that type of service. But it is there where you have to go deep and go to Micah, which says, you must look after the poor. You must walk justly, right? And these are the traits. Walk humbly. And these are the sacrifices, not the lambs and the other riches that you pour into the coffers. So it's a transformational objective that the businessman has. And I think one needs to acknowledge that it is not only money. It's time, it's effort. And this is what leadership is all about.
Sure. So, now, you mentioned earlier on about the triple P's, people, planet, and profit. And are there injunctions, biblical ones, with regards to these three? How does a Christian business leader deal with all these three? And I guess here I'm trying to, I would like you to comment on each of these three P's. Maybe we can start with people.
Yeah.
Maybe we can start with people. And the truth is, a conventional or traditional business, you just saw people as part of the cog.
Yeah.
And but what you are proposing now is to say people are more than that.
Absolutely.
And, please do comment on that.
Yeah, I mean, people, first of all, in your labor, in that which you employ, those that you employ, how do you deal with them?
Sure.
How's your wages? What do you pay these people? Are they slave laborers? Are you able to also look at them? And, we think of business people here. We employed a lady that worked for us for 21 years. Sadly, COVID took her about 9 months ago. The fact of the matter is, how do we deal with those that we employ within? It is that which is people. But people in the business is, are we fair to them? There was a time that people didn't matter. They had to come. They were the underlings. These days, there's a level playing field.
Sure.
And regard your people as not an asset, because then they become property, but as your equal, and arrange with them in a way that is comfortable to you, to still make a profit, because without the profit, you'd have a problem. But regard them, as a person that also has a family. What type of leave dispensation do you have? So all of these things come under that people topic or title.
Sure. And planet. I know this one is a very controversial one. There are people that are still denying that we have, a climate crisis, climate change, and they see no need. In fact, and especially, I think this is very important for us, because to contextualize this, we are Africans and we live here in Africa. There are those, as you would know, who are saying this problem of the climate was not created by the developing countries, not by the poor countries. And now the rich, the developed countries have made as much as possible from exploiting the resources of the earth. And now they are the ones that are heralding and telling us, in a way, we as the poorer countries are seeing this as a threat to our own development. How do you, as business people, approach that?
It's a very difficult one, because you always have, the outside and the inside. Where do you draw the line? What is my role as a businessman or just an individual in terms of the preservation of the planet?
Sure.
Once you come out of the context of biblical admonition, you're in trouble. You see, because then you're going to compete with other worldviews. The worldview that we should have is one of a steward. And when you look at stewardship in its narrow or in its broader sense, we are the custodian, we are the salt of the earth, and it is that which we purport, based on our biblical beliefs, that was must maintain. You can't say, but this world is in any case going to end.
Yeah.
So let's just use it for today. It's our gardens. And the way we care for our gardens, the way we care for that which we walk in, the beautiful parks that we have, and it is for us to preserve water. You can't not acknowledge the needs of the world out there physically as a planet, and expect to praise your Lord, praise your God for all the blessings He gives. I think the blessings also come from how you nurture the environment around you. An environment becomes a very important part of the Christian's life. That stewardship, He's given this to us. And how do we preserve it? How do we look after this?
And profit.
Well, profit, I think,
I mean, there are people that would say, Professor Links, the Bible says that the love of money is the root of all, and isn't that what profit maximization? Trying to get as much money as possible. Aren't you driven by the love of money? And what do you say to that thinking?
Well, that is why there's an interplay between these things.
Sure.
You can't have the others without profit.
Sure.
Then you have a socialist, communist regime.
Sure.
That sounds in theory very good. We're going to spread it all even. But what motivates anyone to do more than what others would do if everyone gets the same?
Sure.
So that's a different topic.
Sure.
But the fact of the matter is, profit must be made to keep this motor going.
Sure.
It is how one derives the profit from your activity. Is it fair to the environment? Is it fair to the people? And then say, yes, it is, so that whatever is left there, I can then do the investments that are needed within the country, within society. Because without the profit, the investment will not come. Profits come also from saving. And I don't want to go in an economics lecture here, but it is important for us to remember that without profit, there is absolutely no economic cycle that will be valuable to society. So from that perspective, profit, but not at all cost.
Okay.
If it is at all cost, then you disregard the other two pillars. And it is there where plowing back, and I sit on a number of company boards where it is imperative that we have a look, and this government has done a lot on these areas where you have to report on what is your return to society in terms of social investment, in terms of the people, in terms of the environment, in terms of skills development for your people that work for you. So I think profit, without that, is not, without profit, there is very little that you can do on the other two legs.
I love that. And I'm glad that we ended with that, because like I said, the topic for today was beyond profit.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with profit,
No.
but profit cannot and should not be the end in and of itself, but means to that end. And that was a beautiful case that you have made, Prof. Links. Prof. Links, thank you so much for joining us. And I really, really enjoyed this conversation. It was very enlightening.
I thank you very much. I look forward to our next time.
Thank you so much, Prof. Links. Our viewers at home, we trust that you enjoyed this session. Please don't touch that dial. Wait, and we'll be back soon.
Every community has its ups and downs, its joys and its sorrows, from informal traders, children to pensioners. Everyone sometimes needs an ear to hear. Do you need prayer? Chat with the Cape Conference virtual pastor.
We are back. Welcome back to Rays of Hope, Masikhanye. I am still your host, Sivu Kotela, and I am so excited right now to be joined by Mandi Baxana. Good day, Mandi. Welcome to Rays of Hope. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm very, very well, and thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you. Thank you for coming and gracing us with your presence. Entrepreneur, businesswoman, did you always know that it's going to end here?
Not really. I'm an academic. I love books, and I've always wanted to be a doctor or something like that. So much that I furthered my studies so much. I have 2 honors degrees and master's degree as well. And I'm a specialist in monitoring and evaluation. So I've always thought that is my field,
Sure.
and that is what I'll do for the rest of my life. Up until I decided that I'm growing old, and I'm not seeing any changes in my life.
Sure.
And I'm not touching people's lives as much as I would love to. And I think also my name compels me to think outside the box, because my full name is Mandinakhe, meaning allow me to build you. So while I was still in government employed, I kept on asking myself, what am I building?
Sure.
What am I building, And I've always known that that's what I want to do. I want to build people. I want to add value into people's lives. And so I then decided, okay, maybe it's time I venture into something that will allow me to do that.
And I decided, I was very happy when our team agreed on having you on the show, because you did not take the conventional business route, the conventional entrepreneurial route, and but you took the network marketing route. And why that space? It's controversial. It's not very easy. And but talk to me. Why did you choose that particular one, or did it choose you?
Yeah. As I've mentioned, Sivu, I've always wanted to touch people's lives. So I knew that if I go the normal route, the normal business route,
Sure.
it will only be to enrich myself and my family probably, but not other people. But now with network marketing, I saw an avenue where I could actually invite other people to do the business for themselves, more like, I'm giving you a business to do for yourself, but I'm here to support you. So that's why I decided to venture into network marketing. Sure. And of course, you're right. It's a business that most people don't know about. And it's a business that is out there, but people don't give themselves time to learn what is it about.
Sure.
Whereas it is an amazing business, because you're not only doing it for you, but you're doing it for many other people, Unlike making a soup kitchen today and feeding people today, and then tomorrow there's nothing for them to eat. But
Sure.
now you are giving them an opportunity to make an honest living for themselves as well.
You've already touched this, that many people do not know the business that you're talking about. And one of the reasons I would argue is because there is quite many of them that people just can't keep up. There is a new one on the market, and that is why I needed to have you on this platform, so that you can tell us what are the things that you should be looking for, without necessarily mentioning names, but you should be looking for in a network marketing business, and what are red flags that you should run away from.
Yeah, it's a very crucial, very important question. Yes, there are many of them out there, and everyone is running for their piece
Sure.
of the cake, But what you should look for is how long has the business been, and how long has it been operating? What is the product that is being sold? What are you selling? What product are you selling?
Sure.
And what value will this product bring to the people? For example, do you know what this product is made of? Can you really trust the product itself? Because you don't want to sell something to people that is not friendly to the humankind.
Sure,
You know, so you need to do that kind of research, and importantly, how long has the business been operating? Because if it has been operating for a year or two, then it means that they are still trying their way through using you, you know.
Sure.
Whereas if it has been there for more than 5 years or 10 years, then I could say that's a good business, you know. So venture into it, but obviously opening your eyes, you know. Open your eyes. What is the product that you're selling? You know, if it's a trusted brand that you know, that you've Googled and you have searched for it, then go for it.
Thanks. Now, we've already spoken about this, that many people, number one, that there are many options on the market, which can be good, but it can also mean that people keep trying all of them. And that's probably because they fail here and then they go there. Now, what are the characteristics? What kind of a person do you need to be for you to be able to make it in this space of network marketing? What are some of the qualities that you would say people need to invest on? Is it for everybody, for that matter?
Okay, network marketing is for everyone. It's for everyone, but I would say it's not everyone who can do it. Okay? Because it needs someone who is consistent. Not someone who tries something today, tomorrow is doing something else. Someone who is dedicated. Someone who's focused, because if you don't have those, you will not make it in network marketing. Focused,
dedication, consistency.
Yes. And if you don't have those, forget about network marketing. Because what's going to happen is you are going to move from one to another. And another more important thing is that you need to brand yourself. We need to know that Sivu belongs to this network marketing company. Don't change from here to another one, because now we'll not be trusting the brand that you are. Whereas we need to trust you because you are the brand ambassador, and we need to have faith in you before we can even have faith in the brand that you're bringing to us. So if you keep on chopping from one brand to another, how will we then trust you? You know.
Now, tell me, are there any particular preparations that other conventional businesses? On the platform we've had people that are in the finance, entrepreneurial platform, so they study accounting. What do you think? You've mentioned the qualities earlier on, consistency, focus, and dedication and discipline. But are there any other tangible preparations that one needs to go through? Are there trainings that are normally provided by the business?
Yeah. Okay. Prior doing the business, you don't really need a certain kind of training, okay? But I always say whatever you've studied, it has equipped you to be able to stand out there and do something for yourself. So as I mentioned, my previous, my qualifications, to some extent, they've trained me to be able to do the business. But that does not limit other people in other areas of studies, you know. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, you have your qualification, come do network marketing. You don't have your qualification, still come, because we'll train you. We'll train you. It's very important that you also join a network marketing company that trains its people. Because if you are not trained in how to sell, how to recruit, how to build your business, then you will not be able to do your business. So it's crucial that when you join, you make sure that you join a company that will be able to train you. So you don't really need prior education or training, but once you're in, make sure that you are joining a company that will be able to train you.
Okay. Now, talk to me. What are the challenges of running business in general and running network marketing business in particular?
Okay. The challenges in running the business in general, I would say, is payment of salaries, especially in this time that we're living in, you know, and all the nitty-gritties of not being sure of the tomorrow, you know, in terms of our economy, you know. So I would say those are the challenges that one is facing in a general business business world. Which is not much of a challenge in network marketing because you don't have overheads. You know, you don't have people that you need to pay, but you run the business yourself and supporting those who are in your team. But there are also challenges in network marketing, to be honest. And those challenges are when you find someone that you see has potential, and you really believe that this person will make it for himself and for his family, but all of a sudden this person doesn't believe in himself, because network marketing, it's more a mind game where you have to believe in yourself that you can do it, So you find someone that is that shows that he has potential, that you also believe that this person can really turn things around, only to find out that this person doesn't really believe in himself. His self-confidence is way down than you thought it is. And as much as you try to assist this person to put him where you think he should be, but this person doesn't pull through, So those are one of the challenges that we really face in network marketing. And another challenge is also a matter of you need to travel. You need to travel to go and present your business to different people. And for you to grow, you need to speak to a lot of people. So when you don't travel and speak to those people, then that means that your business is not doing as much as it would, But thanks to social media as well now, thanks to the digital space, we are doing so well in there. And now we get to speak to a lot of people in different areas without being there, So that challenge, I would say, is more or less taken care of, even actually better than it was before. Yeah.
Mandi, I mean, you've been in this space for quite a while now,
4 years.
and 4 years now, and you've done very well. Now, what are some of the reasons? Others might even say excuses. What are some of the reasons that people give for not joining, even though they want to sometimes? And I'm saying reasons because I have heard people, give genuine reasons, like they say, hey, I would like to join this, but I don't have the money to buy the products that need to be sold. And what are the other reasons that people raise, and what are your responses to those concerns?
Actually, the one that you've just mentioned now, it always makes me laugh, because when you say you don't have 1,000 rands to start buying your products, whereas you have 3,000 rands to buy the weave, then for me, it really doesn't make sense that you don't have this amount of money to invest in the business that would give you millions of rands within 4 or 5 years, but you can buy what you want to buy, but not to invest in the business. Then it always makes me laugh, how short-sighted people can be, But one of the many challenges that people always gives is that I don't have time. I'm too busy, Mandi. I don't have time. And to be honest, we are all too busy, but we make time because we believe, actually, it's a known fact that when you want something so bad, you stop at nothing to achieve it. So you make time. So that's one of the biggest excuses that people always give, that I want to do, but I don't have time, Others would say, I can't talk. But she's talking to you right there and then, And now social media also makes it easy for us that you don't have to talk, but you can type and carry on the message, So, those are some of the excuses that people give.
Look, another thing that people know about you, and I think I should mention this, especially on this platform, is that not only are you this successful network marketer and businesswoman, but you're also a committed Christian. And do they clash sometimes? You have to deal with people, you have to, motivate, you have to speak harshly. And how do you balance that with your Christian faith? And how does it come into play in network marketing in particular?
Actually, that was one of the reasons why I chose network marketing rather than the other businesses, because I value the Christianity. I value my Adventist faith, And so I couldn't see myself sitting somewhere opening my shop on Sabbath, because it was just not me. So network marketing, it's a business that I can do anytime, anywhere, whenever I feel like. And so there's definitely no clutch. Even my customers know that on Sabbath it's closed, And I remember speaking to my dad the other time before I started that, Daddy, I want to do a business, but I don't want anything that's going to clash with my Sabbath keeping, And it has been such a bliss to do network marketing because it doesn't at all. And it actually gives me more freedom and more financial muscle to take out my tithe on a monthly basis, which is very dear to my heart, that I can do that without any worries, And I can actually return my tithe, and I can be sure that it's my part, I've done it well according to how God wants it to be done.
Sure. And how have you? Because one of the things that you mentioned earlier on is one of the things that drove you into network marketing and your line of business was your desire to impact people and change lives. Do you have any one or two personal anecdotes that you'd like to share of lives that have been impacted?
Oh, yes, I did. The recent one was actually one lady who recently became a manager. And this is someone that I've known to not have much. And now this is the person who will be earning over 27,000 every single month. And to thank me, this person, she said to me, please give me your mother's cell phone number. And I was like, why? Okay, they said, okay, let me just give it to her. And she phoned my mother. And my mom phoned me back crying with this person who phoned her saying, I am forever grateful for the girl that you gave birth to because my life has changed dramatically from where it was to where it is today.
Mandinakhe.
You know, and Sivudo, the things that I live for, when I watch people who had nothing, who are now able to do things that they couldn't do before.
I love that. I love that. Now, what does the future hold for Mandi? What can we look forward to? Number one, you personally, but briefly, but also the industry. What are the opportunities that are out there, especially during these challenging times of COVID-19?
Network marketing is actually a step to use towards achieving your bigger goals. Like, for example, now I'm into property. I have properties that I've bought, and I'm able to use it as my other injections in terms of finances, you know. And what you can look forward to is I'm actually one of the donors in the Keiskamma Walk Youth and Child Care Center. So I get to donate to them on a monthly basis. So it means that I'm giving back to them. So I want to venture into more of those youth centers so that I can bring some relief to some kids, you know. And if you want to join network marketing, do it. Even if you think that is not for you, you'll be amazed with such self-development you'll get, with such fulfillment that you'll get when you see the lives that you'll be changing, you know. So it's really worth it. It's a really worth it venture to step into.
Hi, Mandi, thank you. I don't know where the time went once again. It went so fast. But thank you so much for joining us. I really, this was very enlightening. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Mandi.
All right. Thank you.
And viewers at home, thank you for joining this segment with Mandi and the entire episode. I trust that you were challenged and you were blessed and empowered to go and brighten this world. As you start this new week, go out there. But before you do that, if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to send us the message to masikhanye@cc.adventist.org or send us a WhatsApp message that you see on the screen. Till next week, bye-bye.